Hello everyone, it's Louisa, and in today's video, it's going to be a do-it-yourself video, a DIY, showing you how to take this Disney Christmas sweater and turn it into ears. If you are a returning viewer or subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. I really appreciate the support. And if you're new here, hi, my name is Louisa, and I'm just a gal who loves to incorporate her childhood loves and hobbies into her adult lifestyle, and one of those loves is Disney. So this video, it's going to be me showing you how I made a particular set of ears. These ears were actually made for Ben over at Melick Adventures as part of Year of the Ear for April of 2024. The theme was recycled, so we had to use materials that have been recycled and in different contexts. So I had this Toy Story Christmas sweater from the Disney store that I got a couple years ago, and I enjoyed wearing it, and it lit up. But here's the thing, it's kind of tight and snug now. And then I felt like you could never wash it because, you know, of the lights and stuff like that. And so I was like, well, I could give it to, you know, could donate it, but I was like, I just don't know necessarily what to do with it. And so I got the idea to use this sweater, use the fabric and turn it into Christmas ears and use it as part of this recycled theme for Year of the Ear. So I really hope that Ben enjoys these. If not, just a cool process. And we're gonna be recycling instead of, you know, wasting fabric. So I'm gonna be showing you guys how I made these particular ears in this video. So let's go ahead and get started. So now it is time to get started. So I actually did the first step without showing you guys. So sorry, I did this earlier this week, but I used my ear template that Dream It DIY Saria over there has. I will try to link it in the description box below. It's so helpful. But we have an ear cutting line. So what you do is you trace this, make 4 of these on cardboard, then cut out the cardboard. And then what you do is I just draw a little line, semicircle over, and then you end up this is so it can fit or be glued onto the headband like so. So I've just done this first step of getting the cardboard ready to go, so we don't have to worry about that. Now it is time to actually cut the fabric of the sweater. So that's what I'm going to be doing next. I'm decided to use the back of the sweater because the front has the lights, but the back does not, so we don't have to worry about that element at all. And yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. So now the remainder of the sweater is like a big bib. And then this looks kind of like a vest cut out, but it's just the back. Ta-da! All right. I'm just being a goofball. Now that I have this back portion of the sweater cut out, this is going to be our fabric for the ears. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a spot, line it up, cut out that fabric for each of these 4 ears, front and back. So you'll see what I'm talking about in just a second. So here's an example of just one cutout I did. So it fits over this part of the fabric, and when we hot glue it, which will be the next step, you know, there's enough to go around like so. So this is one of the sets. I want to have 2 with Woody as the focal point, and then 2 with Buzz as the focal point. So now we have our 4 different cutouts of fabric for our 4 different ear cutouts. And then this is interesting because I didn't even notice looking at the sweater that they had, their faces were facing different ways. So I originally had 2 cutouts of Buzz going this way, I believe. And then I was like, wait a second, we should get the opposite. So it'll be kind of interesting to see what happens front to back, but that was a whole other element I didn't even think about. So now it is time to do the hot gluing. Any interesting camera angles in this video. But anyways, all right, time for the hot glue step. Hot glue gun is warmed up, I believe. So here is my first cardboard cutout. Good old Woody here. So what I'm going to do Nope. There you go, so you can see it. So basically, I'm just putting, there we go, like, uh-oh, okay. So I'm basically just putting hot glue a little bit around each part and bringing up the edge of the fabric. This fabric is not gonna have as much give as other fabrics I've made ears with, so that's why it's really important to make sure that this fabric fits that particular cardboard square. But you're just gonna do this in small groups all around. And then it's always good to take a look at how it's looking as you're going around as well, so you can still see the central character that I want to feature on the ear, so all is going well. Yes, there we go, looking good. And it's okay if you have excess fabric. In fact, it's probably best if you do have excess fabric, because you can later cut that off. You don't necessarily have to glue it to the back. But don't worry if you're like, I have huge chunks of fabric in the back. It's fine. You can cut it off later if it's really a concern. Now we're just gonna finish this here. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Perfect. Woody is featured, love it. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to fill this part with fluff. So I didn't completely go all the way around hot gluing yet. I'm gonna put the fluff in this pocket, and then, or the polyfill if you wanna call it that. I like calling it fluff, it's fun. And then I'll hot glue the bottom to complete the ear. But we'll do the filling. So I got my big bag of filling here. I'm doing like Superman superhero stretch. Ah. Okay. And you want to fill it where, you know, there's decent squish, but you also don't want to fill it to the point where you can't hot glue this part at the bottom. It can't be so full that you can't finish it, the hot gluing job. So that looks pretty good in my opinion. So we're gonna go ahead and finish this. So I just put a nice line of hot glue at the bottom and fold up with that bottom fabric. Oops. And it's really good to make sure you have excess fabric on the bottom, because there have been times where I've made ears where there wasn't enough on the bottom, and so the like corner of the ear was showing. But you know, worse things have happened. But all right, so that's the bottom all glued up. This is what this first ear looks like. So now I just need to do it with the other three. All right, so now we have our 4 cardboard cutouts, and now all we have to do is hot glue them together to make the front and back ears. That's what I'm gonna do now. All right, so what's next is, or at least for the past couple hours, the ears have been hot glued together. They've been drying, getting their shape. So that's what they've been doing for the past couple of hours. Now what we're gonna do is I'm actually gonna use my lint roller and kind of remove any of the hot glue mess off camera because this is a hot mess. But you kind of see like this hot glue residue kind of left over. So I'm going to use this to kind of just wipe that off. Even though we're gonna be hot gluing again, it's just nice to kind of keep them nice and clean before we do the trim. Then I'm just gonna add this red trim to, you know, bring out kind of the ornaments behind them and hot glue that stuff on. And then we'll glue it to the headband, and then we'll have a full set of ears. They'll be all complete. Whoa. Life comes at you pretty fast. Okay guys, so I'm going to show you this problem in real time. So I put the trim all the way around and I even did it on the bottom, but the problem is now if I'm going to put it on the headband, there's going to be a little bit of space. So to combat that, I think what I'm going to do is wrap the red ribbon. I think I have enough of it to wrap it all around the headband, and then I think hopefully that will be less of a problem, but this was not something I was anticipating doing. And yeah, so I think that's a good reason why I don't think you're supposed to put trim on the bottom. I can never remember, so whoops, but we're gonna see how this looks. Okay, so this is what I did. This is the headband completely wrapped around with that red ribbon, okay? Then what I did was I put a strip of that red ribbon down, just glued it down, and then glued this ear down to it, and then I just kind of hot glued in between, so that way there's no air or space in between. You can't see like the light between the cracks. So I don't know if I want to do like another round. I mean, this is just so much hot glue and so it can just like look too much. I don't know. But there is a part of me that's like, should I do red ribbon around the bottom part or leave it as is? So we'll see. I'm gonna do the trim around here, get that on here, and then maybe I can decide. My second ear done, and it looks much better than how the first ear turned out. And the good news is you can still see a little bit of air, or space in between. So the good news is I'm still gonna do that strip that I did on this other ear. And the good news is I have just enough. That was really good timing. All right guys, I'm back, and here is the finished product. So this is the front, and then this is the back. So one of the things that I added were these Dollar Tree ornament hooks. You can barely see them, so. But one of the reasons I added them was because I felt like you didn't quite get that Christmas element from these, and they came from a Christmas sweater or just a holiday sweater. So I thought, okay, what if I added ornament hooks to kind of symbolize that these are ornaments, and then I ended up adding them around the trim. There's a lot of hot glue though, so it kind of looks like a kid's holiday craft that they got really excited with, and they were just like glue. And then I decided to use one as a centerpiece as well. But yeah, with my OCD, I think I kind of went a little bit overboard on the hot glue, but this is the final product. So didn't quite end up the way I expected them to, but that's the fun of creativity and working with the challenges in the moment. So Ben, I hope you love them. And this is the pair of ears that I made from a Disney Christmas sweater. But that is going to do it for us today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Comment down below, what do you think? Have you ever tried to make a pair of ears like out of sweater or old, top or something? I would be curious to know. If you want even more of me, you can keep up with me on Instagram at louisa.ruby and on TikTok right now, at least, at WeezQueen3. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys soon with a brand new video. Bye! To infinity and beyond.